And welcome back, folks. So, this will be the third and, for today at least, final episode of this live coding thing about MQTTs and actuator nodes. If you already watched the rest, you know the drill. So, let's jump right back into where we were. So, since we last talked, I had a bit of time to do some wonderful, absolutely unreadable graphics design ideas for the UI. So we're gonna put that into place. This will be another shorter stream, I think half an hour-ish again. So let's get back into the fray, as the fish or something like that. So this still works, and we're gonna restructure that in a sort of table-y manner. Table-y whiny, timey-wimey. All that. So where was all that? So we have the turnout UI, the sensor UI, and the configuration thing. So we have separate lists for those. We can still keep that like that for a bit. I'm gonna very likely join those two together. And you know what? It's getting really late, and the coffee is absolutely gone from my system. So please bear with me. And also, what is this? I didn't know there was a U tag. But you learn new things every day. So, first of all, I'm gonna add a little button to be able to switch between editing modes and sort of interaction mode where you can actually set the values or turn the turnout, something like that. So let's first add that. We will just add something like this. By the way, feedback is always welcome. Mostly I'm rather new to all these live streaming things, so don't hesitate to drop me a comment. So this is going to be switch mode. Let's keep it simple for now. So we're going to do switch mode. What an interesting original idea. And what this is going to do is just be a function which sets, and I'm not going to be original here. Mode, we can choose, I think, edit will be the default so far. And let's make that a bit different. I would like the boolean better. So edit mode, true, and then we can just say that edit mode equals, so we can toggle it more easily. And even better like this, and now we have edit mode. Let's move that back up to our other state things that will also need to be restructured, as always, refactoring never ends. And so does the song. So edit mode. Let's display that somewhere for now. So just add this. This is temporary, but actually. So in that, if it's edit mode, we just put edit, and if it isn't, we put through interactive. Not the best name, doesn't matter. So we add that. And of course I forgot to add the re-render UI thing. There we go. There, you can switch between those. So now we will need to regroup these things. So turnout UI, sensors UI. So let's move them out a bit of this function. It's starting to get a bit cluttered in there. So let's call this edit mode UI. How fancy and extraordinary. Yes. Let's keep that. So we said sensor, turnout, actuators. You're all going up there. So we need to pass it a node, so it can still do that. And this way we can have this. So we need to also add the configuration thing because that's part of the editing mode. So let's just take all that, set configuration, clear configuration. I think we have them all, Captain. So let's add them. Of course, it would be even better if we actually called the right functions once in a while. And thus we have the whole edit mode UI. And we can add it here just for a test. So we use the same kind of toggle. So we're going to call this node, and otherwise it's just going to be HTML with a big bunch of nothing, namely make it an empty div. Look, even put some empty text in it. The wonders of technology will never cease to amaze me. And amazing, we actually are able to switch between those two modes. The gods are walking with us. So, what's next? So let's also create, uh, we have the edit mode UI, let's add the interactive mode UI. And we're gonna be able to move a few things there. Jesus, an arrow is not that hard, Mark. So interactive mode UI, we can already kill our poor empty div without the HTML part. So let's add that. So what do we need? So for example, we had turnout UI that actually allows you to set, ouch, that values and other things. So we are going to remove all of this, so that can move there. Let's move it here. Also, we need to node. What else? So there's turnout UI, which it gets called here for actuators. We still need to iterate over all sensors and actors, so it would almost make sense to, well, you know what, no shame in duplicating things for now. So let's have these, and let's put that back there. Remember early refactoring, yada yada yada. So we don't want to add anything, we don't want configuration, and we do want to, just a sec, we do want this. So basically all this lists. And there might be some better way to restructure this, but yeah, bear with me, I'm sure we'll get there eventually. So we can just close this, and I'm sure it's going to be way better already. Oh no, turnout UI is not declared yet, so yeah, that was not going to work as expected. So let's add that. I, by the way, really don't like the name turnout UI because it's quite clearly not specific to turn out. So actuator changer. Jesus, my naming tonight is absolutely abysmal. But hey, I actually understand what it means, so I guess that's a big win. So, oh wow, amazing. Quite a big change. So now we have all of that. So some people are very likely going to kill me for this because I'm not going to use any fancy new CSS, but I might actually put all of these in a table. We're going to start here. So let me think for a second. So we have sensors and actuators. So this is also something that I might actually combine into a single thing because they both have types, they both have IDs, they both have pins. They actually sort of both have value because in one case it's the value returned by the sensor, and in the other case it's the current state slash value of an actuator. Also, knowing the last timestamp when something was updated can be useful for both. So, but for now, let's see the rest. So we can keep those down there. Also, as you can see, adding sensors or actuators is surprisingly similar. Again, getting ahead of myself. Just give me a second. So would a table make sense? Let me take a look again. Sensors, ID, type turnout. Okay, we can already do some cosmetic changes here for the actuators. So let's switch to something a bit more semantically correct since we are using a UL. So list of things, and of course, since we just duplicated that for now, we're going to use the same thing there, actuators. So there, that should already display marginally better, or not, which where did I mess that up? Inspect elements. Really, that's good. And for actuators, uh-oh. Not quite the same. No, wait, this is where actually having a table would be much better. So let me get onto that. So instead of having that list, let's use. So if I remember this right, we need something like this, and let's add another header ID, another header for pin, and what else? Let's do the whole value, etc. thing. Of course, if I don't add that, it's gonna be in a whole lot of trouble. Or was it the other way around? I haven't done a table in a while, I must confess. And you know what I said earlier about lack of coffee and things. So let's just first return that to see how this looks. Was it that? I think so. Oh yes. And there was TD, of course. Blah. Let's make it a bit more fancy, using actual real words and all. Turn out 0, 1, and 255. Why not? Oh wow, type, ID, pin, and value. Amazing, so we don't have to repeat ourselves everywhere. Yes, we could have added it a different way as well. Um, what can I say? I used to really love tables and not just waiting for them. So let's add node.sensors. Never mind. Let's do it another way. Let's remove this one. Just copy it, and we'll just return the list of TRs. So table rows. So I'm just gonna move this bit into table body. This we can definitely get rid of for now. So sensors, so now we are going to create TD. God, sometimes I really love this autocomplete and tag loading thing. Lots of time not wasted. So, what do you look like? Ooh, wow. Absolutely still the same. Sensor, why do we still have that? Because I'm an idiot and I forgot to remove that. Sensor ID there and there. Oh, we forgot that field. So timestamp, header. So let's take a look. Wow, I would say that's already way better. Can we also, right, the sensor should still be active, and I'm doing blind. I have no idea what's going on. Okay. So let's do the other one. Namely the actuators, and that should be very easy as well. Using the drill, TD, and some table row. And you know what? We're gonna cheat big time because we're just gonna add them right here. So we group them already in a way. Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, switching from one to the other. So type turnout, of course, I haven't removed that. So let's make the same mistakes a few times before we get that right. By the way, if you can't hear me anymore, it means the battery on this helmet is gone and I will most likely not even notice it, but who knows? So, what does it look like? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm liking this way better. So what we need now is to have the same number of fields there, of course. So what does that sensor have that I don't have? I think, my friend, you'll find that it doesn't have a value, but what should we use instead? Not available for now, I guess. And same thing for the timestamp. And I think we'll find that, oh, amazing, it just lines up like it was meant to be, or something in that way. So what I'll do is also, here we are having types, so turnout, here we have no information whether it's sensor or an actuator. In the end, I will add filtering and things like that, but I still, for now, want to make it a bit more explicit. So this is actuator, that should be clear, and this is a sensor. So you might say, but why do you want to regroup that? Well, because it's easier to get an overview of things. And this is just one way of looking at things. Down the line, there will be most likely some logical regrouping of sensors and actuators. For example, a turnout, so maybe that's a servo combined, so a motor combined with a switch which detects its end course, so end stops essentially, but that will act as one unit. So might as well get used to that. So we can call this sensor or actuator. I absolutely love spelling things out because then you come back to your code months or so after that and you still understand what the hell you were actually saying there. So we have that, and we also want, wait a second, we have the configuration thing, which is, God, so messy, but we'll get to that. We could, for example, also magically align that. I don't know if a table footer is the best thing. I can also do some very nasty things like, you know, just adding an additional row, which is exactly what I'm going to do. If it turns out to be horrible, we can remove it. So that would be so sensor configuration ration configurator. It sounds nice or something. So that will actually return. So HTML template tag, and it will be a table row again, but it will have yeah, I need to be careful with those items. So TD. I'm honestly not sure this will actually look the way I want. You know what? It doesn't need to return anything in a function as far as I'm concerned, for now at least. So, table row, let's see how this would look. I'm not sure it would align well. Okay, actually, not bad. Except we have that dummy thing we have in the first place, so let's add it as a sensor. Of course, we really need to unify this. So I'm showing you the slow and bit non-forward thinking way of doing this, but yeah. So value 1, and we can also add, of course, copy and pasting the whole thing would have been a bit easier. TD, let's add that and have a small little thing in there. Okay, I like it, to be honest. We can perhaps also add yet another row. No, I'm not sure. So anyway, we have the type, the ID, the pin. There was something of placeholders, but my brain is mush, so I'll add normal placeholders later. And the last one would be, I guess, this one possibly. Of course, that's not quite time. So what can I do? We would of course need perhaps a separator to also specify that it's a configurator. So, hey, that doesn't look... Nah, who am I kidding? It still looks like, well, whatever this is. And look, it still works. Oh, the magic. So, let's do that exact same thing for, oh god, you guessed it, for actuator configurator. I tried saying that like 1,000 times in a row. Wouldn't even dare do it twice, so... Why are you complaining? Because I'm not using you. Okay. Let's do that. Actuator. Oh god, spelling. So ID, actuator type, actuator ID, and an amazing actuator pin. And of course we can add this, which seems kind of amazing. Think about it, just copy and paste it. So those are absolutely identical except our defaults, so that would be this. ID, honestly, at this stage the rest doesn't really matter. So let's keep it like this. Well, that half-an-hour stream is gonna be a close one, but hey, amazing. Schwarz. Yeah, I'm living in Germany, so I can use any German words I like. Nicht wahr? So that works, or the Schwarz may be with you. What word it was? Long time ago. Anyway, so these work, and we can make that perhaps a tiny bit clearer here. Saying something like this, add an ad. For once, I'm not mad about seeing an ad. So, oh wow, I'm absolutely baffled. Okay, that's good. So the thing is, we actually don't perhaps want to switch everything out. We might want to keep everything here up to here. We can just make it conditional, so not adding these two lines when you're not in configuration mode, not edit mode, but add, bear with me, these move left, move right things here instead. So I think we can, oh, it's a nice shortcut, so okay, I'm gonna be real nice here, and I'm actually gonna pass it that thing, and we're gonna go and actually make this optional. So if we are in edit mode, then we need to add that, and otherwise we can just do something. I do wonder if an empty template tag actually works and if that doesn't break anything big time. So I know this is kind of redundant, but let's see how it works. So nope, not quite. I'm an idiot, of course. It's very nice to add a parameter, but if I'm not actually passing it in, it's kind of pointless. So edit mode, because passing things explicitly is always better, mostly if you are adding tests, of course. I'm not going to see any difference here. So what I'm going to do is remove this conditional and just keep that. Hey, don't you love adding code to remove it 5 minutes later? I love it. It's absolutely the best thing you can do with your time. So, wait, what now? Actually, this sort of makes sense. Okay. So, interactive mode UI. So, these are already the same, so we don't need that. We have this wonderful actuator changer code. So, this we don't need. And we're gonna keep just this. You know what they say, and it's really true. The best thing about code is when you actually remove some. The best thing is just 2 lines of code doing everything. Of course, that doesn't really always work. So now this is conditional. And what we want is, I guess, to change the actuators UI to accommodate for that. So we have the actuator charger, changer, charger, Roger. And let's put it here. And we're actually not that far off from done. So how about we use, I know that we really need to add another thing there. So Actuator. So this would be actually conditional. I'm not sure where to add the condition. We could add it here, or we can add it here. I think we're gonna add it here because it doesn't even need to enter that function and to call it in the first place. So if it's not in edit mode, then we want to display that. So in this case, not edit mode. Iterative changer. Otherwise, let's go again with that empty thing. How does that look? Um, oh wow, that's kind of amazing. Yeah, the layout is changing, of course, because of the size of the inputs, but it's actually doing exactly what we asked it to, so that's not bad at all. Let's just clear the configuration and add an actuator ID 0, I think pin 1, no, pin 0. Okay, we're gonna try to set the configuration, and as soon as the whole thing comes back online, we're gonna switch to that. I'm actually not hearing the servo move, so I'm gonna have to double check that and change. Well, that's something I might have messed up. It's ID 0 pin 0. That's interesting. We're getting back some heavy duty spam messages again, so that's interesting. Let's just clear this. Oh well, I think we're back in the endless loop mode regarding those things. So let's just see if it's willing to clear the configuration. If it's still spamming, it means we really need to take care of that hardware. Okay, we're back here. So actuator turnouts 0, 0. Just let me check. And I think we're gonna end on this note after this. What was the original configuration? So actuator, oh, of course. This is kids and not kids and everybody in between. You don't use uppercase and lowercase things because otherwise it gets very confusing. So let's go back to that and add a turnout with a big T. So set configuration. And I think it's back online and not exploding. Amazing. Are we there yet? We're there yet. Oh wow. And of course now the detection is, well, okay, so we need something with a big T, and as you might have guessed it, we made the UI, well, react differently where it's a turnout with a little t. So, clear it again, add a turnout with a big T, and something like this. Please stop spamming me, Mr. Node, and new actuator. And I did it again. Okay, let's use that. I think it's re-rendering, and that's why it's resetting it. That makes sense. So this should work. Turn out with a big T, 0, 0. Why is it insisting on adding another turnout? I really need to double check that. Anyway, let's switch modes, and I don't know if you can hear it. I'm gonna get closer, and let's check it in the hardware feed. Normally, we should have that thing. Just a sec. I'm gonna move it now. Move left, move right, move left. I honestly am not sure just how visible it is. I might be able to move that so you can see better. Yeah, it's really not that visible, so let's move it one last time. And amazing, we managed to improve that UI and make everything else completely broken. Or not. It's just some other bug fixes, I think, on the hardware side, well, on the Arduino side. But that's a task for another day. So again, I hope you liked it. If you have comments, if you find it interesting or not, or if you can't hear me, or if my face makes you want to jump out of a window in reverse or something like that, or send me flowers, either is fine. So thank you for your attention and talk to you soon. Bye bye. And of course, you need to switch things. I did.